Hello, good evening, welcome. My name is Kwabena and welcome. I want to share with you tonight. Read books, build yourself. Read books, build yourself. I would dare to say that almost every human being would want to make some kind of meaning out of their lives. Almost every human being would want to leave some mark, would want to have some level of success, would want to live a life that they would be proud of. And what sometimes we forget is that we can only do what we know. We can only practice what we know. And the less we know, the less we practice, the less we can do. And the more we know, the more we can do. Knowledge is actually the seed for change, for progress, for productivity. The countries around the world that are struggling with development, beyond all the other factors that come to play, one of the main factors is that they don't know much, so they don't do much. And the moment they're able to lift themselves to the level of the knowledge concentration, which can bring the results, which can equip them to start to build the life that they want, that is the time they start to bring change. Nobody can change until they have the benefit of knowledge. So I'm talking about build, study, read books actually. There's so much that has been packed in books from the beginning of time to now. If there is something that you don't know, somebody somewhere have placed it in some kind of book somewhere. If you would take the challenge upon yourself and read, stretch your mind. The thing is that most people, especially those of us from Africa, uh, majority of the world's population, and many of them are with us. We so much believe in the in the in this in the reading that they are going to test us on. The chemistry, the physics, the accounting, the geography that they are going to test us on. And to a large extent, that is the kind of knowledge that you read, or the kind of knowledge that they give you, which only prepares you for the exam. For the best part of it is the exam and the certificate that they give you. But to face life and to live life, you have to have your own schedule and time and plan to go for the knowledge that will equip you to live the life that you want. Most people want to be successful. Most people want to live their dream. Most people want to build businesses, have a successful career, become, successful politician, whatever that, some people want to become inventors. Some people want to become investors. Some people want to become entrepreneurs, but they don't take time to build themselves. They don't take time to build and read books. The top successful people, the very top most successful people in the world, I can guarantee you that most of them have buried themselves in books. They read so much, they study so much, they stretch their mind. And so those of us who are still trying to find our feet, we probably would have to do double of what the others are doing. Those who have even been successful in what they're doing, they're still going, they're stretching, they look for data, they look for books, they are always reading, searching for answers. And the other ones who are struggling, who don't know much, are the ones who don't want to read at all. So I'm talking about read books. It's a challenge. Read books, stretch your mind, build your life. If you don't do that, there's not much that you can do. With a few of the people who have some kind of gift, like footballers, or maybe movie actors and and musicians, things like that, who from the usually they just bring out a product and it explodes and they become famous and popular and things like that. Majority of us would have to build our success gradually. And even that, with them, when they are out of the limelight, what is going to keep them to continue to succeed, even after their music career or their sports career, would be the kind of knowledge that they have. If you don't know, you can't do much. And if you don't put it in yourself, nobody else is going to put it. So stretch your mind. If you don't do that, the Africans, nothing else that they have to tell us than for us to know that the rest of the world is choked, is soaked in stretching. That's why they do research. Research, they call something R&D, and that's why they pump themselves into searching of knowledge. The whole world, it's even in scripture. In the Bible, it says somewhere that it is up to the kings to search for that which God hid somewhere. I'm not a preacher, but I'm just telling you that those who are successful are people who continue to search, and there's no better place to search than to search the books and to search nature, the things that God created, and you study them. So read, have a plan. Read, have a plan. Don't just read to become a doctor. Don't just read to become a lawyer or engineer. Don't just read to become the other things that you want to read for life. Study for life. Buy books. Make it part of your entire life plan, where every now and then, every week, every month, you are looking for a book that you're reading towards that which you want to become. If you don't feed your mind, you will give up on the journey of life. If you don't have strong mind, you will give up, because there will be so many troubles and so many challenges. When you see somebody who is murmuring and complaining about life and feels like it's late or is worried, usually the weakness is coming from the mind. And the moment your mind is weak, life will beat you. The moment your mind is weak, life will beat you. So steady. Stretch your mind more than anything. If you see anybody who is courageous, usually they are courageous because of what they know. They know something that the other people don't know. That is why they succeed. That's why they are able to commit to their goals. The battle is won in the mind. And if you don't stretch your mind, if you don't read more, if you don't study, life will be that much difficult for you. And so go for knowledge. You are the only one to do for yourself. The knowledge, you are the only one to acquire it. If you give up on that, some people, almost all of us don't have much to start life with. We didn't have much to start life with. Your parent may be the teacher, things like that. Maybe all of you were sleeping in the same room or something. The only difference will be between you and your siblings will be those who have taken their time to search for something more than what the family would give them. Environment is that powerful. The culture that you are born in is that powerful. The family you are born in is that powerful. The country that you are born in is that powerful. For you to succeed beyond that culture, you must know something that is beyond that culture. And usually, it will be something that is sitting somewhere in a book. Nothing in this life will stretch you towards the path of success more than the knowledge that you have. More than the knowledge that you have. So read, stretch yourself. Go for book. I can't understand why you know how to read, you can write. You're literate, and you will not pick a book to read from January to December. I can't understand why. Somebody will say that, no, it doesn't matter, I don't need it. For you to keep your peace and the tranquility within, there are so many arguments that come to all of us every day. You overcome those arguments by the strength of the knowledge that you have. Sometimes you try something and it doesn't work. Sometimes some days just come. Every one of us will be tested, but our convictions will be tested. For you to stay on the path, you must have strong argument. And usually, those are coming from books that you read. And for instance, when it comes to finance, you are going to continue to wallow in poverty and mediocrity and littleness, and not much, because you don't know much about finance. The business is going to struggle continually because you don't read that much. The life that you're living, you're going to go through things that you're not happy with until you lift yourself with knowledge. And so if you don't commit to reading, I don't understand, 24 hours, at least maybe 30 minutes a day, maybe 1 hour a day, Just commit yourself. There should always be some book in your hand that you once in a while think about. That every day I read early in the morning, maybe in the afternoon for you, maybe in the evening for you. And now a lot of books are on the internet. There are so many books everywhere, and even if you don't want to buy, so many things that you can read. Don't just fixate on the jokes and the comedies that the Africans are locked up in. And sometimes it's a sad situation when you see a whole group of people who are a bit late, compared to the other continents. We are late, and yet we are we match halftime to joke, fun. Let something happen. It's like a village. It's amazing. But you can lift yourself beyond the noise. You can lift yourself and stretch your mind towards the goals that you have set for yourself. And so read, steady, build yourself. Nothing else will take you to your destiny than the development that you give to yourself. Usually it does not even matter the grade that you had in school. That's what they don't tell you. Usually it does not even matter the background, the family, whether your father was a rich man or a poor man. If you have the relevant, if you immerse yourself in the relevant knowledge, it may not start to show the first year. It may not start to show the second year. It may not start to show the third year. But once you start to accumulate, it will get to a point that it will explode. It's currency. The system will not be able to contain it. Your life will start to take the part of the dominant convictions that you have built from the books that you have read. Then you see, you get to a point where your mind starts to play with the greatest of minds that have ever lived in history. So read, study, stretch yourself. Don't let anybody amuse you with the sports, with entertainment. It's all over. It has to be about music. It has to be about comedy. It's all about movies and news and all the things that. The more you commit your life to these things, the more you're delaying your life. The more you will not be able to live the life that you were born to live. Because for you to live the life you were born to live, you would have to take risk. You would have to dare. You would have to have courage. You can't take the normal path. Whatever is in your heart that you want to become, it will never take the normal path that everybody is taking. It will require some level of risk, some level of uncertainty. And you can only continue to push yourself on that path when you fuel yourself, and that is knowledge. Knowledge is fuel. Knowledge is fuel. So you set the plan. Nobody knows what you want to become. You know what you want to become. You have a plan. Write it in your diary. We are now in I think today is the 4th day of May. We have gone, January is gone, February is gone, March is gone, April is gone. 4 months are gone. How many books have you read? And which books were they? And were they books that equipped you to become better with the vision that you have for yourself, with the things that you want to achieve? Were they books? Let's say you want to build a business, or you start a business, or you want to become successful at whatever you do. Maybe you're a programmer, whatever you are. Read books along those lines that will equip you, so that you start to think differently from the others. You start to think differently from the others. The world is beyond your village. The world is beyond your country. Now the world is more people are living in the virtual world, in the internet world, in the social media world, than the physical world that they live in. So stretch your mind to those realms of productivity, of achievement. Read books. There's nothing as that. Even if you don't know how to read, and even if your English is not good, even if your writing is not good, just look at the pictures in the book. By the time you see it, you are pushing yourself, and ask somebody to teach you. You never know. Continue. Right there, for instance, if you're a student, yes, you're happy with the exam and the first class and all those things. But when you come out, the people who have equipped themselves, who spend time to read more, to search more, to know more, they will beat you. That one I can tell you. Those people, after 10 years, after 20 years, they will beat you, because you don't fight life with a classroom formation. You fight life with the books you have read to live the life that you want. So don't live your life in the hands of anybody. It's in your hands. and stretch your mind so much. Read the best of books. There are so many people who are very much confused as to what even to do with their lives, and yet they never pick a good book that may be able to help them to at least just say, just how do I even plan my day? How do I even plan my life? Who am I going in the next 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Most people have never done that in their life. Some people think that, I want to become rich, but they have never ever planned. They have no plan to become rich. They just so hope that one day they will be rich. That is a dream that may never happen. Anything that you don't have planned for, it's likely that you're never going to have it. If you say that you want to become the president of Ghana and you have no plan to join a political party, build the connections, it will be very difficult for you to become the president of Ghana. If you say that you want to build a business and you don't have any plan, you don't have any goal, you don't have any structure, you have not built anything to get you there, it is going to be very difficult. So most people will just have the life that they had no plan for, not the one that they had planned for. So read. When you start to read, there are a lot of things that will just hit you when you start to read good books. There will be a lot of things that you start to see. I remember when we completed the university, I started to read a lot, and then there are so many things that you would write down just because you started to see them in books. You started to see somebody say it in a different way. There's so much. Your life will be organized because you start to organize your thoughts. So read books, and I'm not talking about reading novels and crying and weeping. I'm talking about reading, looking for laws and for principles, for things that will make you successful. I'm more interested in you becoming successful. I'm more interested in me becoming successful at what I do than just reading to have some kind of to while away time. Or no, I don't read for fun. I read for productivity. I read for information that will equip me. I read for things that will give me skill, that will make me better, things that will help me to break some of the things that I don't understand. Those are the things that I read about. So stretch your mind. Read. You want to become an inventor, maybe maybe you're a technology guy, maybe you're a programmer. Stretch your mind. Read more than any other thing that you do with your life. Because the more you equip yourself, the more you can do. They say that if you want to cut a tree and they give you 10 minutes and they give you a blunt, cutlass, what are you going to do? They say that maybe use 8 minutes to go and sharpen the tool. Then the cutting will be very much easy for you. If you spend more time to equip yourself, then you'll be able to have, easier ways. Some people say that, work smart. Working smart means that equipping yourself with the right tools, right knowledge to get results. That's what it means by working smart. It doesn't mean by taking, cutting corners. So read about finance, read about things that all of us want to be successful in. The profession that you have taken, the country that you live in. What can you read? What are the things that you can read that you think maybe there's a problem in our country that worries you so much, and you don't know much. So you don't know much about it, but you still want to solve it. There are books. There are a lot of websites somewhere. There's data somewhere. Go and look for them. Start to study. You never know. By the time that you soak yourself in those kind of books, maybe within the next 6 months or 7 months or 1 year, you will become a master. You start to see that your life starts to move, and you'll be equipped so much to solve your problem. So anything that you're struggling in, is likely that the knowledge that you have there is inadequate, or it does not work. That's why we struggle there. If you see me struggle with finance, it means that it's likely, so likely, very close, not absolute, very close, that my knowledge of money, maybe that will work. If you struggle with development, like our country is struggling with development, it's likely, so much so likely that maybe we don't know much, or we don't even know what it takes to become a developed nation. It's likely, so much likely. If the marriage is struggling, maybe so much likely that you don't know what it takes to marry. That's why I struggle. So if you don't know and you're not ready to know, then you can succeed. So whatever that you think, maybe you're failing in the exam, it's likely that you don't know. That's why you're failing there. Maybe if you sit down and you go and ask those who know, maybe you will start to take a different path, because success Nobody is born successful. All of us, we learn. And the things that we know will make us successful or failure, you know? So it's more of what your mind is processing all the time. If you're failing, it's likely that what is in your head may not be working. So my name is Kwabena. I'm talking about build yourself, read books, commit yourself to reading. Commit yourself to reading. I say that if you can read 2 books or more every month on the things that you need results in, don't just pick graphic or something to read. No, it's like when you're going through town, you see the guys in the local, the local kiosk guys. They're always calculating maths. I'm like, ah. So sometimes I ask them, so when you were in secondary school, what was your, maybe you were the best in the class with the mathematics. They are working every day and nothing is changing. I mean, the way it appears to be. Because they're applying the wrong principles. They want money, but they think that Lotto can give them money. Money is not Lotto. Money is not luck. Money is not chance. Money is a product that comes out of productivity, out of strong financial knowledge and financial skills, right decisions in terms of finance. You know, whatever that anybody is succeeding in, they know something than those who are failing in don't know. But they told us that, with the kind of background that we come from, that is the problem. The problem is that most people don't think that they are responsible for their results. Most people think that something else is responsible for their results. So when they are failing, they still think that something else is responsible for the failure. The little I know is that not many things are responsible for your failure but you. And usually it comes down to what we know. Because with the knowledge, then you can build anything out of that knowledge. And so read books, read books, read books, read books, read books, get good authors to read. Go to the library, go to the bookshop, every now and then pick a book. There should always be a book in your hand that you're reading. Book about productivity, about management, about finance, about innovation, about whatever that you want to do. Whatever that your life is about, whatever aspirations that you have, whatever dreams that you have, whatever that you want to become. Feed your mind first. Prepare first. Grow in first. Don't let the culture dictate your decisions. Don't let the average information in the air on the radio station. Don't let that be the dominant thinking that you have, because you're going to fail. Don't let that be the mind that you have. You hear it on the radio, therefore that's how you make your decision. You saw it in the media or in the movie, like when we were growing up, Nigerian movies and this Mami Dokro movie and those kind of movies. Most people make their decisions with those kind of, no, you're not going to win if your decisions are coming from movie. In Hollywood movies, you're not going to win. You're going to struggle. The knowledge to make you win, go and look for them. They are there. Go and look for the things that the successful people are reading and start to read them. Whatever that you want to succeed in, go and look. Somebody else knows it. I remember when we were about, I think 2000, we were in our third year in the university. My friend brought me a book from Kiyosaki, and that was a good book. I read it. I was very much fascinated. Rich Dad Poor Dad. Fantastic book. I was so much fascinated with the book. I read it several times. I read a lot of his books. It's one of the greatest authors that I think there is. Because he breaks a lot of things that they hate from us. The school system, you are dependent on the schools, the certificate to succeed. It will be very difficult. Yeah. Very difficult. You have to build your own belief system, your own worldview. You have to build a lot of things yourself to do anything for yourself. So study. Don't play. Study, read, stretch yourself. Life is not joke. If anybody told you that life is simple, they're lying to you. If you give up in life, it's because your mind was weak. If anything overcomes you that quickly, it means that you are not tough enough. You have to be so tough, and you cannot be tough just by saying I'm tough. You have to have a strong mind. Somebody's girlfriend will leave him and he will commit suicide. Another person's girlfriend will leave him and you have left, so others are there. The way you interpret the happenings of life is directly coming from the kind of mind that you have developed. So if you're tough, then nothing breaks you. You go for the next. Some people start business, it fails, and they give up. You try one, no, you go to start another one. go to start another one. Until you win, you are not giving up, you're not quitting. That's how it is. But of course, you're ready to learn, to correct your mistakes, and to continue to stretch yourself. So I'm saying that read, commit yourself to reading, polish. There's no, the difference between men is what they know. The difference, we all have two eyes at least, one nose, I think, one mouth. Some ears somewhere. We look like human beings, but the difference is what we know. What we know is the difference. So because your life is only taking the part of where your mind, the dominant thoughts that you have, they are responsible for the results that you're getting. The dominant thoughts that you have. If you are being successful at anything, it's because that's where your decisions are focused. That's where your mind, whatever that you're thinking about every day, whatever that you're processing every day, that is where the energy is coming from, and that's where you're going to get results. So I'm saying that stretch your mind, read, don't just play life. Life is that fast. Before you see it, you're halfway through, And most people are around 40, around 30, around 50, and they look back and they are not proud of what they have achieved. And I can guarantee you it's because we were not even sure. Half of the journey, we didn't even know what we were doing. We were not conscious. Some people are even 60 and they are not even conscious. They are not present. They are not living. Why? Because their mind is not that constructive. They are not sure. They have not fed themselves. There are so many things that if you ask them, they can't give you definite definition and definite interpretation of whatever. Even if you ask him, who are you? What is your life about? What is your understanding of money? How do you become a professional? What do you think you're doing with your life? Most people don't even know. They just get up in the morning, they go through it, they come. They told them to marry, so they marry. They gave birth to children, they don't even know what to do with the children. They told them to go and marry, they married, then they don't even know what to do with the wife. They told them to go to university, they finished, they don't even know what to do. They told them to become anything. Maybe he even became a president, and he didn't even know how he became a president. Why? Because his mind was not that much constructed. He didn't construct it. Like your life, you construct it yourself. You build it yourself. You build it yourself. And you do that by the information that you get. You study, you learn, you read. You read and go and read books of people who are succeeding, not those who are failing. Read books. Everything that you are going to become from now to anywhere is because you know. If you don't know, it will not happen. Life is not luck. Most people, the other day I was asking somebody, said that, oh, they did a study and they said that most people, it's luck. I said, oh, it's luck. Then what do we try? If it's luck, then what do you have to try? Then let's go and sleep. It will happen. It's not luck. It's deliberate effort to get results. I don't believe in luck, like a lot of things, a lot of people say. Then everybody should be lucky. Why is luck not finding everybody? No, some people are working there. Some people are making effort. Some people are building themselves. Some people are reading, stretching. So that's why you can't blame anybody for wherever life that you have. And that's why you can change your life if you want to. Because then you can change what is in your head. It may not happen one day, but if you start the journey, it will happen. If you start the journey, it will happen. So read books. Read yourself. We live in the best of time. Knowledge is everywhere. The internet is the best of the universities that you can ever have. Learn it. 10 years ago, I don't think we had this platform. But now there's, and we don't even know. And you see, the people who are creating all these things, they believe in knowledge. They read, they search. Those who are coming up with all these things that are changing the world, look at them. There's one common denominator. They go for knowledge. They believe in data. They research. They reason. They build their mind. They're not leaving things to chances, and they're leaving things to, maybe it will happen. No. They are really in control. They are aggressive. Not absolute, but, a lot of things are within. They don't just think that, you can't just be weak-minded. You can't just give up on life and hope and settle back and wait that somebody will come and help you. Nobody is coming to help you. That's the fact. You have to pick up yourself and move from where you are, to continue to move. And don't just hope that things will change. Things will not change if you're just hoping. Things will change when you start to change things. And it starts with what you know. So for me, get a plan. At least if you're not reading anything at all, read one book a month. If at least it's a good start. So if you can read maybe the next few months to the end of the year, if you can read maybe 6 books, you would have done yourself great service. Spend a lot of your time going for knowledge all the time. Create the environment that you know that this environment is you're always getting the best of knowledge to push yourself. Never leave anything that you're doing to chances and just hope that things will change. It doesn't happen like that. It changes because you are responsible. That's why you are responsible for the success you create. And that's why nobody else is responsible for your failure. Not even the government. Don't wait for any government to help you. Help yourself. If they come, fantastic. But I can guarantee you that they are not coming anyway. Don't wait for anybody. Don't wait for your parents. Don't wait for your friends. Don't wait for anybody. Continue to help yourself. If you have one city, go and get some knowledge. It will help you. It's amazing when there are so many books that people don't read anything. Whenever I see a young woman with book, especially with good book, I'm inspired. Then I want to ask him, why did you pick this book? Why are you reading this? What have you found out? What did you know? There was a time I went to Accra Mall and there was this guy who was reading a very fat book. And it was about Africans and slavery and things like that. So I asked him, what are you reading? What are they saying? Who are they blaming? And we had a chat for about a month, for about an hour. And then I picked his email. He became my friend, and he's been my friend for the last 8 years. Just because of the book that he was reading, I was inspired. I was intrigued. I said, wow, you are the more people are eating, dancing, and you are with this fat book. And he's been my friend for this. Yes, he's a Kenyan. And I was very much impressed. And you can see that he has a very deep thoughts. If you ask him a question, you can see. Because the people with books, the one who is reading is the one who is creating the future. Those who read are those who are going to lead. Those who are not reading anything, those who are in ignorance, they will be the ones who will serve the ones who are reading. So if you don't want anybody to take advantage of you or your life, then start to equip yourself. Read. Become productive. And you cannot become productive with ignorance. The biggest burden of every human is his ignorance or ignorance. Nothing is more responsible for the burdens of people than the ignorance that they have found themselves in. And you cannot cure ignorance with ignorance. You cure ignorance with knowledge. You cure ignorance with knowledge. So my name is Kwabena. I am talking about study, read books, build the life that you want. You cannot become successful in anything until you have the right knowledge in it. Anything of your life, anything that they have told you, anything. People want money, people want successful family, people want good career. Maybe you want to build a society, maybe an organization to change. You want to become a president. Maybe you want to become an inventor. You want to become a scientist. Whatever that you want to become, you have to have the base, and the base is the right knowledge. If you miss the right knowledge at the foundation, it's very difficult for you to succeed. The reason most businesses don't succeed is because they started with the wrong knowledge and they never corrected it. So the moment you correct that, you start to see growth. Knowledge is the seed for growth. You can have a tree that you didn't plant the seed for. You can have a tree that you didn't plant the seed for. So the darkness is only in your mind. If anybody controls you, they first control you by your mind. So read. Yes, leaders are readers. It's absolutely. Yes, great leaders, they all read. They all read. They have an insatiable desire for knowledge. The knowledge. The proof of wisdom in anybody's life is their quest for knowledge. If you see anybody looking for knowledge, it's a sign that they have some burden of wisdom. They have that. They have that. So the ones who are like fun. This is a proof of how not deep their thoughts are, how they want to just amuse themselves into. There are some people always, if you see somebody who's always drunk, it's because he wants his problems to go away. He wants to forget about them. But once the thing is gone, you will get up again, and it will hit you. So knowledge is so much important. Whatever that you want to create, whichever future, you need the best of knowledge. And that's why they say that, we are developing Africa. You cannot develop Africa by not developing the minds of their people. If they still continue to think the way they think, it will be very difficult for you to develop these people you call Africans. It's so difficult. You start to move them into thinking properly, then you'll be able to develop them. But if they, so long as they continue to think the way the ancestors thought, it's very difficult. Because you can't help any human being who thinks the same, who has ever thought the same. It's always the same. They don't want to change. The tradition goes on. It will be very difficult. But you can help somebody who's helping himself by trying to go for knowledge. Trying to update himself. So you can't think as you thought last year. You must think better this year more than you thought last year. You must know something this week that you didn't know. So you are very inquisitive, you're searching. And once you glean them, you put them to practice. You glean them, and that's how you become successful in anything that you do. It's one stage at a time, one stage at a time. But by the time you see it, you are now a skilled man in a particular field. And nobody can take the knowledge that you put in yourself from you. Nobody. It's in you forever. It stays with you. You become a master. Nobody can take it from you. So it's your own advantage to make sure that you read. It gives you peace. Everybody else is shaking. Everybody else is worried, and you are stable because of what you know. Everybody else is, panicking, and you're stable because of what you know. When let's say when it's raining and there's a child in the house, the child is afraid. But if you're a grown up, you know that it's just rain. You are not panicking. The same. The things that you're so much afraid of is because the knowledge there is weak. The moment you start to get the right knowledge in that thing, the fear will go. The fear will vanish. You dare because you are equipped. You know something about it. You can project. You can see the part. You're not afraid of the stage because you know that it is, and this is the stage. This is the stage. So develop. There's nothing as sweet as a man who is committed to learning, to studying, to upgrading his knowledge, especially in the area that they want to become successful. And never forget to study about money. Read about it, study it. Study about entrepreneurship, study about investment. Learn it. Don't steal the money, learn. You will get it. Don't cheat to get it. Don't lie to get it. Just learn it. Get the skill. You get it. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you. Black, thank you. Been a while.